To make the attack system too busy, some resource needs to be used up. It could be processing time, or network bandwidth, or memory, or other resources that are relatively rare for the serving system. Also, to make the attack practical, the attacker's cost needs to be much less than the victim's cost. That is, it needs to do something with a small amount of processing time so that the attack system ends up using a lot of processing time, and so on for other resources. Here is a simple sort of denial of service attack on Unix. This program keeps creating new processes, new copies of itself. And what do each of those copies of itself do? They also continue to loop, creating new copies of themselves, and so on. This is called a fork bomb because it creates forks that create forks, and so on. And it tends to be a pretty short-lived bug that programmers create accidentally when they are trying to implement a shell. But it can count as a denial of service attack by our characterization here, because the fork request is a very low cost to the programmer who wrote this and to the process that's running. But every time an operating system has to create a new process, it has to allocate data structures associated with those processes, assign a process ID, put them into the scheduler, and so on. So it's an easy request by what we would consider the attacker in the scenario, the program that has the fork, and it requires a lot of work on the attackee, the attack system being the operating system in this instance.